about at home the projects I want to get to this spring, right?
Yep.
And among them, for you, maybe some of the things that we've done for our DIY Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Hannah has replaced windows, hammered down a new floor, refinished kitchen cabinets. Now, for her last DIY Wednesday challenge, putting up a backsplash in a kitchen.
Well, first she had to explain to Mike DiGiorgio, our coworker, what a backsplash is. And she says, unless you live under a rock, you know. And what she doesn't know is Mike lives under a rock.
He really does live under a rock.
Hey guys, okay, here is what a backsplash is, Doug. Doug, check it out.
Oh,
These are the tiles.
Beautiful.
This is beautiful. These are the types of things that a lot of people will put behind their sink, put over their countertop, right, Sean?
Yes.
To give it a little more flair. This is Sean Clark from Clark Construction. He is also with Lowe's. We're in Lowe's in Henrietta right now. You're showing us how to put the backsplash up, but first, what you have to do before you even start putting the tiles up, Sean, you got to level your counter. Make sure that your countertop is level. Luckily, this is a new setup they have here, so it's perfectly level. Sean, then what we have to do is cover the countertop, right?
You always have to protect your countertop, yes.
You don't want to, ruin it with either the mastic, the tiles, anything like that.
Yes.
Tell me what's next. You were mentioning that we actually have to clean the surface before we put anything up.
We have to clean the surface. First, we need to lightly sand
go for it.
the surface. Just a very, very quick once over to make sure it's very smooth, and it will accept the mastic that we're using today.
Okay. So this allows for the product to actually stick up there and stay well.
And it's also very important to make sure that you take a damp rag, wipe out any excess dust around the surface that you're going to be installing the backsplash tile. So
I could get this out if you want me to.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah. So then next, after we get to this, what are we doing?
Okay, the next step we're going to be laying out the tile.
Okay, we laid out the tile on here, and explain this.
Okay, the tile that we're using is a glass metal mixture, and it's a very, very random pattern.
Okay.
So, which is nice is you don't have to be as precise in your gaps, in your openings for your measurements. It's a little easier to install.
It's a little user-friendly. If you make a couple mistakes, it's a little more forgiving.
Yes.
Right, something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so where we're gonna start out now. What I like to use a mastic grout. It's a pre-mixed type 1 mastic that we're going to be applying for this. Now you have to use a certain grout for a glass tile because you don't want anything to bleed through or come through it.
Okay.
So what we're going to use today is this. They have others that you can mix. It comes in a powder. You can mix with water. I don't prefer that. Because this is obviously easier for a do-it-yourselfer. But in this application, we'll get started.
All right, let's see it. So do I scrape it out? You tell me what to do.
Scrape it out, and you can put it right on here.
Oh, yummy. Looks like cream cheese. Probably works a little better than cream cheese, right?
It does. It does. Or if you don't want to do that, you can also just get a little like that.
Just put it right in?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start here because this is where we have our tiles laid out from.
So why do you give a little bit of space on each side?
A little bit of space. You have to leave a gap on your tiles to make sure for expansion and contraction, and you need to leave a little room for grout lines on the sides.
Okay.
The bottom, of course, will be caulked with a silicone caulk. You have to leave a small gap for any flex there.
Okay. So. Let's move on. So we got that up. Now we can put a piece like this up, but eventually we're going to have to cut once we get to the end. So let's keep moving. Okay. Can we put this up yet?
Not
we
yet.
have to continue to grout or continue to mastic.
Yeah, we want to mastic out a little ways. You don't want to get too far. You definitely want to only do what you can do in a few minutes, because if you get too far, the mastic has a tendency to set up a little fast on you sometimes, especially with the heat.
You want to get it even here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's perfect. And explain this process. Why is it so important that this doesn't you know, set up early, then the tiles don't stick as well, correct?
Yeah, they won't stick. They'll end up falling off, and you definitely do not want that to happen after putting all this time into everything.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of this if you can kind of help me.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Now, oh,
Right
it's my
here.
turn. Oh, gosh.
Yep, just kind of
Here we
press
go.
it on.
Okay.
Okay.
So you press it on like this.
Yep, and then you go back. All right. And
Am I
then you
doing this right?
You're doing okay. You're doing all right right here.
No, it really looks like cream cheese. Okay.
It's a great breakfast meal.
Up and down. Up and down. Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Okay. Now, can we lay a piece at all?
We can lay a piece.
Okay.
Let me just clean this up.
All right, we
you
clean
go.
it up. Now we can lay our first piece.
Yes, this is our first piece to install. We're going to carefully.
Now we press it in. Explain how
that
you're doing this.
Okay.
Press
so we're
it
just
in real
lightly
tight.
pressing it in right now.
Okay.
And then obviously we have to make sure it's lifted up off the counter just a little bit.
Just a little bit of space.
Just a little bit.
And we're
which
going
is
to
good.
press it in with this, correct?
Then we're going to take this and we're going to press this in very, very carefully to keep it even, because that's important. Okay.
Can I put this one
You
up?
sure can.
Okay. Now, we want to make them close, right?
Yeah, try to have the same gap between these as those.
Okay.
You're doing good.
Is that all right?
Yep.
Not perfect, but
No, it's pretty good.
okay. And we
You
lightly
can go
press
back,
it in,
just tack it. It will stay.
and then you do this.
And then
press
yes.
it in.
Yep.
All right.
And then if you need to adjust it a little bit, they can be adjusted.
You could slide it for a little bit, but then once it's stuck, it's stuck.
Right.
All right. Holy cow. Well, there you go. When we come back, we're going to show you how you actually have to cut the end pieces as well, because obviously your wall's not going to be completely measured out exactly like these squares. And then we're going to get to grouting. We'll show you how you have to let it set and grout your tile.
Oh, boy.
So it stays up there.
Yeah.
We'll toss it back to you guys.
Okay,
That
Hannah,
is- yeah,
that would
that's-
scare me, that part.
Use the back up part of a toothbrush, the rounded back part of it. Am I wrong?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's for the grout.
To get the grout in the
Yeah, you just
space?
that's
Okay.
what I've used before.
This
Anybody
is-
else hungry for bagels and cream cheese right
I know.
now?
Why did she have to say cream cheese? Now I'm like,
Saying that.
that does sound good.
Marty's full forecast coming up next. Stay